The story begins in a world where the digital universe is just as real as ours. We are shown that massive blocks of data stand like cities, and inside them live programs just as complex as humans. But the big question haunting the scientists is, what if this digital world could cross over into ours? What if intelligent life crawled out of a computer circuit? We learn that the legendary game creator Kevin Flynn has mysteriously vanished. Now, a ruthless war is raging between two tech giants, Encom, led by Eve Kim, and Dillinger Systems, run by the ambitious Julian Dillinger. Eve wants to use technology to cure diseases and end hunger. But Julian has very different plans. He hints that whoever is the first to bring digital life into reality will own the future. Julian gathers his investors and drops a bombshell. Virtual worlds aren't coming to us, they are already here. Using a massive laser, he materializes a tank out of thin air. But that's just the warm-up. Suddenly, he introduces Ares, the ultimate defense program. This is the perfect soldier. He doesn't eat, he doesn't sleep, and he doesn't feel pain. Julian coldly states that Ares is just expendable material, and if he breaks, they'll just print a new one. However, there is a massive problem Julian is hiding. These digital beings can't survive here for long. Ares starts to disintegrate after just 29 minutes. Julian needs the persistence code, a secret formula that will allow programs to exist in our world forever, and he knows exactly who can lead him to it. Eve Kim. Meanwhile, Eve Kim isn't sitting idle. She hacks into Encom servers to find Kevin Flynn's legacy. She penetrates the digital core and finds the Holy Grail, the persistence code, which looks just like a double helix of DNA. At that exact moment, Julian realizes Eve has found the code, and he decides to send Ares after her. Julian downloads Ares into the real world again with a clear directive. Find Eve Kim, drag her back into the grid, and get the code by any means necessary. Ares doesn't care about morality. He's a machine. But the moment he steps onto the street, something strange happens. He feels the rain. This is the first sensation a program has ever felt, and it completely throws him off. Eve tries to escape with the hard drive, but Ares tracks her down. The chase begins. Ares is a perfect weapon, and Eve stands no chance. He captures her and drives her toward the portal, but suddenly, Eve reveals she doesn't have the code on the drive. She destroyed it. The code is now inside her, written into her DNA. This changes everything. If Ares extracts the code by force, Eve will die. Ares contacts Julian and reports that extraction will disintegrate the user. But Julian, being a ruthless villain, gives the order, extract the code and wipe the host. To him, Eve is just expendable material. And here comes the turning point. Ares, who is supposed to be just a machine, refuses to execute the order. He looks at Eve and decides to break his directive. Julian is furious. He realizes he's lost control of his best soldier. Suddenly, he activates Athena, an even more powerful and heartless program to destroy both Ares and Eve. Ares and Eve make a deal. He will protect her, and she will help him get the persistence code so he can live in the real world forever. They have less than 20 minutes before Ares disintegrates. They race to the Encom tower, where Kevin Flynn's old laser is located. On the way, they talk. Ares confesses that he's starting to feel emotions, and it terrifies him. He even starts cracking jokes and vibing to Depeche Mode. We see a soulless machine transforming into a person. Meanwhile, Athena is closing in. She attacks them with drones and missiles right in the middle of the city. The heroes reach the lab. Eve preps the laser to send Ares into the grid to retrieve the code. But Athena crashes the party. She is massive and deadly. Ares realizes he can't defeat her and save Eve at the same time. He has to make a choice. Suddenly, he makes his decision. Instead of taking the code to become human, he decides to remain a program to keep the power needed to fight Athena. He tells Eve to run because he realizes his dream of living in reality isn't as important as her life. An epic battle between two super programs begins. Ares unleashes his full power and destroys Athena, sacrificing his chance at persistence. In the aftermath, the police surround Julian Dillinger, and he is arrested for the attack on the city. Eve takes back control of her company and uses the persistence code to create cures for cancer and solve world hunger. In the end, we see that Ares didn't die. He found a way to exist off the grid. He sends Eve a postcard, writing that he is traveling the world and learning what it means to be alive. He realized the most important thing: life isn't about persistence. Everything passes, and that is its beauty. And that's where the movie ends, my friends. If you enjoyed this recap, smash that like button and subscribe to the channel.